Hello, and welcome to another Ray's Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ray Jones, and I always have something to talk about. That's what I do. I'm a talker. I am a talker, and people ridicule me for it all the time. They're like, hey, all he does is talk all the time. He talks so much. He's got a story for everything. Yep, I sure do. Sure do. I like to do things. I do things. I get involved to do stuff. I'm out there. I like to do stuff. I like to talk about a little bit of everything. But first, before I do anything, I got to look down here at my handy dandy laptop here. What do I want to do? Let's see. Let's go up here. And first off, let me start by saying, check out my website, raysreality.com. I'd really appreciate it if you check it out. And I also I've been asking for donations, support Ray's Reality. If you can do so, I would really appreciate it. And so would other people. So yeah, if you could help us out, and we would appreciate it, sure enough. That's one of the things. And I'd also like to do, before I get started, I'm going to do a shout out to Eckler Firearms. Eckler Firearms are brand new. Well, it's not brand new. They've been around since 2023. And they sell, what do you think they sell? They sell firearms. So you can go check out ecklerfirearms.com. And this here QR code will take you right to their door. And you can check them out for yourself and look at new guns. They're going to be getting some used guns there on their site before too long, because they sell guns. That's what they do. They're adding stuff all the time. So they're growing. They're getting bigger. They're going to be doing, also have a gunsmithing as well. Jeff's the owner, and he will be doing gunsmithing for all your gun needs. Check out Eckler Firearms. Their opinions and my opinions aren't always exactly the same. They support me. I'm supporting them. So I'd like to throw it out there and say, hey, check them out. And just if you have a problem with something I say or do, it doesn't reflect on them, because they might have a different view. So don't hold it against them. Don't kill the messenger, man. Just don't kill the messenger. Just stop it. So, yeah. Well, today, I said I was going to do it right now, and here I am. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to jump into it. Today, I got a very serious matter that I'm going to discuss, and I'll ask you to like this and share this. Just because I think this needs to get out there. There's a major issue happening in this world. And right now, it's really bothering me. So here I am to talk about it. I'm going to start back a little bit. So I went back to school some years ago, right about COVID at time. So I had COVID. Anyways, oh, don't leave. Oh my gosh, you gotta stay inside. COVID. Oh, COVID. People are, it's 2024, almost 2025, people. COVID's over. Stop using COVID as an excuse. Stop it. That's not what I'm talking about today, but just stop. I mean, seriously, stop. Take your masks off and your stupid gloves, because you're not wearing them right anyways, and you're spreading more germs with those stupid gloves on than you are anything else. You're touching everything with those stupid gloves on. Take off the gloves, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and stop touching everything. Stop. Anyways, So today I'm going to talk about a very serious matter. And it needs to be, I'm bringing it up and it's going to be getting up there and I'm going to be talking about it a lot. So I was trying to be nice, wrote a letter out to Forest River. They simply ignored it, which after talking to several and looking at several, literally hundreds and thousands of people, they just seem to be ignoring everybody, and if they don't like what you say, they're quick to say, hey, you need to shut your mouth. Well, not shut my mouth. So it's going to be open. I'm opening it very loudly because, quite frankly, people are dying. People are getting seriously hurt. And it's a major issue what's going on with the RV industry. Now, I'm not just talking about Forest River. I am picking on them because currently I have some major issues with a 2-year-old unit. And the way they do things, the way that the manufacturers do things, all the RV manufacturing. And here's a thing real quick. For the love of Peter Pan, just freaking people listen and understand. I'm going to explain this one more time. What an RV is. An RV is a recreational vehicle, meaning any and all RVs, meaning motorhomes. All motorhomes, Class A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all motorhomes, no matter how big, no how small. All fifth wheels, no matter how big or how small. All travel trailers, no matter how big, how small. Any camper, anything RV-ish, that's what an RV is. Recreational vehicle, meaning all of them. Motorhomes, travel trailers, fifth wheels, all of it, all the above. Okay, that's what an RV is. Most people have no idea what an RV is. Seriously, most people have no clue. Now you know. So 2 years ago, me and my wife purchased a brand new 2023 Forest River Salem, and the nightmare began. As with everybody who buys RVs, that's what happens. Well, real quick, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I started ranting about something else. So I went back to school back during COVID, right at the beginning of COVID. And I became a nationally certified RV inspector. I also, at the time, decided to become an RV tech. So I am an RV tech, certified RV tech. I'm a certified RV inspector. So there's thousands now, I think there's over 4,000 certified RV inspectors. And when I say that, there's people out there, imposters, that say they're RV inspector, but they're not certified. They do an inspection, a true inspection. Honestly, I'm going to say it. If they didn't come from the NRVIA, then I wouldn't call them an inspector. There's a lot of companies out there. There's one particular company that says they do inspectors, their inspections, blah, blah. They're not allowed to get on the roof. They're not allowed to do it. They're not allowed to do anything. They're there for an hour doing an inspection. No, when I come to look at your RV to do an inspection, I'm going to be there for 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. I will be there on site looking at that RV. I'm going to look at everything. I'm going to look at from top to bottom, inside and out. I'm looking at the tires, the suspension. I'm looking at the undercarriage, everything. I'm looking over the whole thing. I'm looking windshield, back, front, top, high, bottom, so everything. We're looking at everything. I'm going to look at 10,000 different components that's on that vehicle. Okay. After I do an 8-hour on-site inspection, it's going to take me 8 hours to do the paperwork. I'm going to take about 300 to 500 pictures while I'm there, as well as video. Okay. It's a thorough inspection. You want to know what you're buying. You want to know what you're getting, new and used. And I'm here to tell you right now, new RVs are nightmares. there's more wrong with them than a used one by far. A used one, all the problems are taken care of. But, however, depends on the problem as well. So, fast forward to now. So, we bought a brand new, I knew what I was getting into. But, however, I didn't know it was going to be a complete nightmare. So, we bought a 2023 Forest River Salem. And 3 days after we bought it, water was pouring in to the inside. Now, when I did the inspection, it was not raining. I didn't know water to be coming in. There was no way to really check it. The seals and everything looked fairly decent. But I did say when I got it, well, I'm going to probably have to reseal the roof because it wasn't up to par where I think it should be. That's what happened. 3 days later, water's pouring down the front end. The front seal is doing nothing. So I had to reseal the whole thing. I resealed the whole roof. Other issues, problems, issues. Our slide out wouldn't go out. So I'm going to pick on the dealerships real quick. The dealerships will tell you, well, you can take this anywhere in the country that service Forest River. That's a lie. Because nobody is going to touch your RV after you purchase it. Nobody. If you live in Seattle, Washington, and you buy an RV from Florida, Miami, Florida, for example, you're going to have to take that back to Miami, Florida to get it worked on because nobody's going to work on it. They'll say anybody would. No, nobody wants that nightmare. Nobody wants it. So if you have warranty work that has to be done, you have to take it back to the dealership where you purchased it from. Where you bought it from is where you have to take it to. Most everybody I've ever talked to, they've had the same problem. There's a few people out there that's gotten lucky that have good dealerships by them and they've been able to get the stuff done. But, however, most people won't touch it. I will tell you this is for a fact for me because I was in Arizona and nobody would touch it. Nobody would touch it in Texas, Arizona, New Mexico. Nobody would touch our RV. We had to wait till we got back to Florida and get it in. Now, here's the fun part. It's warranted. It's got a factory warranty for 1 year. Once you leave the dealership, it's going to be a minimum of 6 months to get that thing back in there. And they're going to hem-haw around about it because they're going to try to get it past that year as quickly. They want that year to go by because they don't want to do it. Well, here's the fun part. Once I did get our RV in for the repairs, long story short, Forest River refused to do the repair work. Refused to do the repair work. They said, no, we're not doing it. So they basically had them jimmy rig everything together. Our RV never got fixed. So basically our slide out has never worked since the day we bought it. It's been nothing but problems, okay? And I've seen two other ones besides ours with the same problem. The hole where the slide out is not cut right. So when our slide out went out, it ripped the roof. Brand spanking new, our roof got ripped. So we had to take it back in to have a new roof put on it, but they refused to fix it correctly because they said that Forest River refused to fix it correctly. The word was not going to give them the time and everything because the slide needed to come out. They needed to recut the hole, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. That didn't happen. So they put a new roof on it. I get it home, open the slide, and it rips the brand new roof that they just put on. It rips it. Wow, fun. So the slide out is a nightmare. It can never went in all the way. So it's a 2-year-old unit. So I've had several issues across the board with this thing. And now, okay, we were displaced from our home. So we're not living in our home. We were living full-time in our RV. Don't tell the manufacturer that because they won't warranty it. Really. So what the dealership told me here in Tampa, Florida, the dealership literally told me that when you purchase an RV of any kind, they do not expect you to use it for more than 3 weeks out of the year, if that. Seriously? All right, let me purchase a unit for $700,000, and you're going to tell me that I can't use that for more than I can void the warranty if I use it for more than 3 weeks out of the year. That's what the dealership told me. So they said, well, you can't be living in. I said, well, while we're in between homes, we're living in our RV. Well, you can't do that. You cannot dictate to me what I can and cannot do with my travel trailer. You do have to honor the warranty, which they did not honor the warranty. So other things happen. So we're going to get to recently, there's a lot more to this. So I'm going to be kind of circling around this a little bit. We had an issue as we're pulling our travel trailer. Travel trailer would not pull to save its life. It was all over the road, bouncing all over the place, had a heck of a time. This thing was a nightmare. This thing's completely empty, no water, no nothing on it, was a nightmare to pull. Talked to the dealership, it's just whatever, hem hawing, nothing. So I'm trying to figure things out. Why is this thing's all over the road. It's bouncing, it's swaying, this thing's a nightmare. So, actually, we were in Michigan, and the tire fell off. We had a tire come off, rim, tire, everything came right off. So, we're in Michigan, so now we're stuck in this travel trailer. This is recently, and so now. I'm like, what the heck? So we're stuck at a Walmart in Holland, Michigan. And Holland, Michigan Walmart there, the people were so generous and great. We were in their parking lot for 5 or 6 days because our RV, travel trailer was broke because our wheel fell off. Why did the wheel fall off? Well, they're telling me, the manufacturer, well, you have to grease the bearings every 10,000 miles. Okay, no big deal. Well aware of that. But however, when you only got a couple thousand miles on your RV and the wheel falls off, that's a major issue. Weird thing is, as I'm working on this thing, guy stops and says, I had to put new axles on, blah, blah, I've had wheels fall off. And I'm like, yeah. So as I'm doing this, I realized the wheels are not balanced on this travel trailer. That is a major life safety issue. Unbalanced wheels are major life safety issues. So here's the thing. People will argue this. The manufacturer's going to argue this. The dealerships argue this. Mechanics will argue. Everybody, lots of people argue this. Okay? So here's my thing with this. You're telling me that you don't have to have the wheels balanced on your RV. It's not important. It's not important. You don't have to worry. Don't worry about the wheels being balanced. It doesn't need to be balanced on a travel trailer. Lies. Lie. A car, you have to balance the wheels on a car. Because if you do not balance the wheels on a car, it'll shake, it'll shimmy, it'll bounce. I've been in cars with one wheel that was out of balance. The car would not do over 30 miles an hour, or it would shake the teeth right out of your head. It was a nightmare. One wheel was unbalanced, and it was a nightmare to drive. You could not drive this car. Could not go over 30 miles an hour. Drove it myself. would not do it. I've driven several cars. I'm an ASE certified mechanic, or was an ASE certified mechanic. Worked in dealerships for many, 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 many years. Most of my entire life. Had my own shop and everything in Northern Kentucky. And I can tell you that wheels have to be balanced. It is a life safety issue if you do not balance tires, wheels on a vehicle. Same goes for trailers, fifth wheels, motorhome, everything. If it's got wheels and you're on the highway, it needs to be balanced. An unbalanced tire on a travel trailer, for example, my travel trailer resulted in the wheel coming off because the wheel being unbalanced was so far out of balance that this RV was all over the road, swaying, bouncing, shaking. It was a nightmare to try to pull because the wheels are unbalanced. So with the couple thousand miles on it, wheels fall off. Wasn't nearly, I'd say probably 6,000 miles at most, maybe 5,000 miles on this travel trailer. Okay, 5,000, 6,000, I don't know. I'm going to give it that on this travel trailer, and I lose a wheel. So you got to, you periodically need to, like I said, I do periodic maintenance, but I did not put at the time, to re-grease the bearings and everything. That was something that was when I got home, I was planning on doing, because I felt that I'll go ahead and do it. You don't have to wait till 10,000 miles. It's got 5,000. So now they'll probably argue that point with me. They'll probably say, I actually just read somewhere where somebody said you have to repack and redo your wheel bearings on a travel trailer, fifth wheel, every 1,200 miles. Seriously? If you have to have that work done, do you know how much it's going to cost you every 1,000 miles to have that done? Here's the problem. When that wheel is unbalanced, it sits and shakes, it bounces, it's all over the place. It's making a nightmare for your travel trailer. It's causing it to sway, bounce. It's doing all kinds of crap back there when you're pulling it. You can have all the anti-sway, all that crap on your vehicle is not going to fix an unbalanced tires. You have four wheels. On my particular RV, we had, there's four, front axle, rear axle, four wheels all together, tires. All four unbalanced, all four were stamped steel, nightmares to balance. When I took them in to have them balanced, when my wheel fell off, the guy there was like, I don't know if I got it as best I can, but that wheel is so messed up and out of balance. He said, man, he goes, that thing's got to be a nightmare, whatever this is on. He goes, how'd you handle it? I said, it's on a travel trailer. And he goes, oh. He goes, I don't know why they don't balance those things. I said, well, because they don't. They're stupid. Anyways, don't mean to be like that, but that's, it is a very ignorant move. So you have they balanced them. I get my wheel back on. Mind you, because of the unbalanced wheels, now I have a bent axle. So, but we had a tire blowout recently on our way back home. The right rear tire blew out on the unit. That was same wheel that actually the wheel that came off was I think it was the right rear. I'm trying to think. Or maybe it was on the other side. So yeah, right rear. I was trying to think, sorry. So on the way that we had a tire blowout on it, and when the tire blew out, it ripped all the wiring out of not all the wiring, but it ripped the circuit breaker and fuse panel, tried pulling it through the wall the wrong way, did $5,000 damage to our RV from a tire blowout. That's when I realized that, okay, now, but on the way home, I realized I have a bent axle. You could see that it wasn't right. So And the result of was the result. I'm kind of, the more I think about it, I believe that the result of the tires not being balanced bent the rear axle. It was that bad. Talking to literally hundreds, thousands of people, seeing hundreds of thousands of complaints across the board, you don't see anything positive. It's all negative online. Several people talking about axles breaking. I talked to so many people that said that their axle snapped in half, their axle broke, their wheels come off, blah, 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 all this problem. And the reason why, one, the wheels are unbalanced, and it's shaking the crap out of the back, these things. Now, not only do we have a bent axle on our 2023 RV, our frame is cracked. The rear axle, right above the rear axle, I got up in there to look. There's a cross member in there. It's rusted. This is a 2-year-old unit. It's rusted up there, but the frame is cracked on each side about 5 or 6 inches across in the back. Right up. Well, you can't just weld that. That is uncalled for. You buy a vehicle for $40,000. Imagine going to a dealership, buying a brand new car for $40,000. And when you attempt to drive it home, you can't because the wheels are unbalanced. So you have to take it back in. Meanwhile, it does damage to the vehicle because you drove without the wheels balanced. It's going to destroy the suspension completely, if not fixed. You got to balance the wheels. So, but imagine buying a $40,000 vehicle, and 2 years after you buy that $40,000 vehicle, the frame's cracked. I can promise you that if I was dealing with General Motors and I took my truck back to the dealership because my frame is cracked, I can promise you they'd be giving me a new truck. There would be no questions asked. They would say, oh, this isn't right. Here's a new vehicle. Not with Forest River. That's not happening with Forest River. We're going to have to fight, and I know we're going to have to fight, attorneys, all this other crap. So if I have to go into it with an attorney, which I've already talked to an attorney because Forest River is not responding to me. So yes, I'm getting an attorney. I already have an attorney. And I'm not sitting still on this. I'm not going to be the little wussy boy sitting on the bottom. I'm going to scream like all these Karens out there, and I'm going to get something done. First off, there's no reason these vehicles, these RVs are leaving the manufacturer without balanced wheels. Let's see, there's the Berkshire Hathaway Company. They own lots of stuff. They own Forest River, but they also own several other trailer companies, manufacturing companies. There's not a trailer, fifth wheel, travel trailer, cargo trailer, any trailer at all out there. Any trailer. If it's a utility trailer, the wheels need to be balanced. Every wheel and tire out there that's going to be hitting the freeway or hitting any speeds over 35 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, if that's how you want to look at it, needs to be balanced. I will even go out to say that a golf cart, if you're going to be some of these golf carts that are driving, doing, speeds of, they're out there doing 30, 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour, the wheels probably need to be balanced because it will shake and shimmy. So if you're out there and you're traveling on a highway with any of this stuff, but if you have a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or any type of trailer, a cargo trailer, utility trailer, whatever, the wheels need to be balanced. There are over 30,000 accidents every year involving trailers of some type. Dealers and the manufacturer they're going to blame you. They're going to blame me. You can't handle it. It's your fault. You should have did something different. You should have done something different. No, they should have balanced the wheels on this thing, because you have a trailer that you cannot pull straight, because you have two axles. You have two axles back there. You have one, you have three. How many other axles you happen to have on your trailer? You're either going to have one axle, two, or three. Some actually have four. So that means you're going to have 2, 4, 6, or 8 tires on the back of your trailer. And I see every day, all the time, trailers sitting on the side of the road with the wheel off, fell off, wheel come off. So how many people are killed every year from a tire coming off of a trailer? Do you know how many accidents I've seen alone from just a wheel coming off of a trailer and sailing across the freeway? Luckily, thank God, when our tire came off, our wheel tire and everything came off, nobody was hurt. So we were right there, and it literally fell off. So when I stopped, so thank God for that, because somebody could have been killed if I would have been on the highway. I just met a couple. They were coming on the highway, and their axle broke. And I told them, your wheels aren't balanced. I said, that sits there and shakes and shimmies, it's going to destroy it. Sorry. It will destroy your axles. It will destroy the suspension. It'll cause nightmares. It will cause nightmares. You will literally argue with a mechanic shop about balancing wheels. Half the people out there will say, you don't have to balance the wheels and tires on a travel trailer, any trailer, you don't have to balance the wheels. Yes, you do. If you do not balance the wheels on these tires, on these wheels and tires, you're causing major issues. It's no different if it's on a trailer, or if it's on a truck, or if it's a car or a motorcycle. Yeah. Why don't you go get on a motorcycle, get up to 85 miles an hour on the highway with unbalanced tires on your motorcycle? Oh, you would never do that, would you? Because you're not that stupid. Yeah, because, let that shake you to death. So if an unbalanced wheel will cause so much significant damage to a vehicle, how is it any different on a travel trailer or a fifth wheel or a utility trailer, a cargo trailer, any other trailer? How is it any different? It is not. It is not. An unbalanced wheel will cause major problems. I'd almost bet that 30,000 accidents per year, that's what the National Highway Safety Administration says, that involve trailers. That's just accidents involving trailers. That's not accidents involving tires coming off of trailers and hitting other vehicles and killing people, because these things are coming off because an unbalanced wheel sits and shakes and bounces and moves, and it destroys the wheel bearings, causing wheels to come flying off, causing axles to break. It's causing major damage. It's causing deaths. People are getting in accidents because their wheels are shaking so bad. They get up to 55 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour pulling a trailer, and bam. My travel trailer, you cannot pull it more than 60 miles an hour. Before I balanced the wheels, you could barely go over 45. It was a nightmare to pull with unbalanced wheels and tires. It was a nightmare. Major difference after I balanced. Once I got the wheels balanced. However, there was already damage done. There was already damage done before first thing I should have did when I bought it is balance the wheels. But you don't have to. That's what I asked the dealership if they would balance the wheels. Well, you don't have to. Well, you know what? It's a life safety issue. it is a life safety issue. I was looking, what is the RVIA doing? Recreational Vehicle Inspection Association, whatever it is, RVIA. Every single RV in the nation has an RVIA sticker on it. It has to have an RVIA sticker on it. Who is putting those stickers on? The RVIA is not putting the stickers on the vehicles. When they manufacture the stickers, it's like they send them, you get a sticker with your VIN number, and then they get an RVIA sticker to put on the vehicle. The manufacturer is putting these things on there. The manufacturer is not inspecting these RVs when they leave. They can lie and say they are, but they're not. I have over 4,000 people right now that will tell you these things are not getting inspected. I have inspectors. I have over 4,000 inspectors in the United States alone that will tell you these things are not getting inspected when they leave the manufacturer. As a matter of fact, last year, this is a fact, you can look it up. Last year, close to 400,000 RVs were sold last year. Out of 400,000 RVs, it was like over 350,000. So I'm just saying, let's just go with 350,000. 350,000 RVs sold last year. Out of 350,000 RVs, how many RVs did the RVIA actually look at? Less than 2,500. Over 2,000, somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500 RVs were actually looked at out of 350,000 RVs that were sold. Only less than 2,500 were actually supposedly looked at by the RVIA. They say that it's just a surprise inspection. Yeah. So if you inspect 2,000 RVs a year, I can promise you, if I inspect 10 RVs, brand new ones, one of the last ones I did, the dealership actually came out and he said, listen, if you find anything else wrong with this thing, we're going to have to send it back to the manufacturer. I said, send it back. I wasn't even there 4 hours, and I had 40 things on my list of things wrong with this $750,000 RV. $750,000 for a motorhome, and I already had a list of 40 things wrong with it. 40 things, and I still had another half a day to go. So I said, send it back. If you're send it back. Maybe if they would have built it right to begin with, I wouldn't even have to be here. But, however, I have to be here because nobody trusts the manufacturers because they're not building them right. They look good for my house. Ship them. The RVIA is not looking at them. Ship it. They don't care. This is what blows my mind. An RV left the manufacturer. This is a couple years ago. An RV was purchased. I don't know why you would look at an RV. They didn't have it inspected. The RV left the manufacturer, and the people who bought it never, went to the dealership. The dealership insisted that they did an inspection on it. Lie. Manufacturer didn't look at it. The dealership didn't look at it. Person bought the unit. They left with it. And after they left with it, they said, my air conditioner's not working. I don't even know how to turn the AC on. It's not working. My AC is not working. So a local inspector went out, and tech went out to the RV to look at it to find out why it wasn't working. The unit was purchased here in Tampa, Florida. Not going to pick on that company, but it was purchased here at a major, large RV dealership here in Tampa. And when the guy got there, the tech, there wasn't The air conditioner wasn't even installed. There was no skylights installed. There was the bathroom fan, nothing was on it was the cleanest, nicest roof you've ever seen in your life with nothing on it. Nothing was ever put on. They never installed the air conditioner. This left the manufacturer like this. Then it left the dealership like this. Shame on the manufacturer, shame on the dealership. So I've personally looked at RVs where there's no plumbing. They had kitchen faucets and stuff, but they never put any plumbing in it. There was no hoses, no way to get water into the unit. When you hooked up for your water, it went nowhere. When you hooked it up to city water, it just sprayed out all over the place inside because they didn't put no plumbing in. No hot water pipes, no cold water pipe, no pipes. There was no pipes put in this thing, and it left the manufacturer. This one, thankfully, didn't leave the dealership. But that's the thing. The wiring is nightmares. Sorry, I'm going to reflect on something else. If RVs are basically a car and a house combined, and throw boat parts in there as well. So take a boat, an RV, and a house. It's all one. It's all they're like. So you have a 12-volt system. You have a 110 volt, 120 volt system, however you want to look at it. So you have home electricity, and you have a 12-volt car electricity as well. So part of it's ran by 12 volt, part of it's ran by 120. Your AC, your refrigerator, TVs, all that stuff has to be 120 volt. Most of your lights are ran off, but some of the stuff's 12 volt. So if RVs were homes, there's not a single RV out there that I've looked at that would ever pass inspection to be sold. You would not get a loan for it until it was repaired. Also, we're seeing a ton of fires out there right now. Since 2015 till 2024, almost 2025, we have seen a staggering amount of fires on RVs. Whenever I pull off the panel for the electrical, typically when I pull off the panel, all your hot wires are supposed to be single into a circuit breaker for the 120 side. Then you have your neutral bar, and then you have your negative, okay? All your neutrals are supposed to be separated. All your negatives are supposed to be separated. Here's the problem. When the manufacturer builds these things, they got crackhead in there for the day building this thing. He'll take 2, 3, 4, 5 wires. I've seen 5 neutral wires shoved into one hole and the screw down. Those 5 wires in there like that, and they work themselves loose, and then it creates a problem, and that's where I've seen several fires starting where there's going to be a fire somewhere because that positive wire is going to get super hot, and eventually it's going to burn, and it's going to catch the thing on fire. So I've seen tons of electrical panel boxes that were charcoal burnt because they have too many wires into one spot, because neutral wires are all one wire per hole with one screw tightening it down. You cannot put 2 in there. You cannot put 3 or 4 or 5. They all have to be separated. If this was a home, it would fail inspection immediately. They would not let you get a loan for this home. It would not pass inspection until all those wires are separated. They have to be separated. Same goes for an RV, which, however, on a home, your home sits still. It doesn't go anywhere. It's a solid foundation. It's staying there. It's not shaking and moving unless you live in California maybe and you have earthquakes all the time. A little bit different. An RV is on the road. It's moving. So there's you have 100 times more vibrations. Not to mention the fact that the wheels are all unbalanced. So now this thing back there in the back is a freaking nightmare because it's shaking and bouncing and those wheels are doing this. Look, next time you go down the street and you see a travel trailer, look at the back wheels. I promise you, you're going to see wheel doing this. It's going to bouncing like crazy up and down the road. I see it all the time, because it's unbalanced. An unbalanced wheel will cause it'll shake, shimmy, bounce. It's a nightmare. It'll make the wheel fall off. It'll break off. It'll bend axles. It will, I guess, apparently, it'll crack your frame 5-6 inches on each side of the frame where your axle's trying to fall out of the thing because it's bouncing all over the place. So it's a life safety issue. And with all that bouncing, all that vibration is going up inside the house, causing that thing to shimmy and shake apart. And those wires, as you're traveling and you got current going through it, like, when you have the certain systems, those wires are going crazy. I've heard of so many people talking about they're driving on the road and they have their RV plugged in. And of course, the refrigerator is working as they're driving on the road and the wires are loose and they're shaking and now their RV's on fire behind them. So they're pulling over, trying to get the fire out, trying to unhook the trailer, so their truck don't burn too. So happens all the time. And the manufacturer doesn't give a crap. They don't care because it looks good from their house. And their view is not of a travel trailer. It's overlooking the ocean or whatever it is. So, they don't care. They don't care if people are dying. They don't care if people are getting hurt. They don't care if the wheels are falling off. They're a $1 trillion company. Berkshire Hathaway. They're a $1 trillion company. They own Forest River. They don't give a crap. All they care about is how much money is going in their pocket. All these manufacturers don't give a crap about life. They don't care. They're not building good quality units. Ever since I've seen 2015 to 2017 is where I'm seeing all the garbage now. And I will tell you, if you're going to buy an RV, you want to buy one that's older than 2015. But here's the problem. All these RV parks, they don't accept anything older than 10 years old now. So, but the problem is these stupid RVs should not be sold. An automobile, every automobile coming off the assembly line gets inspected. Some of those cars get inspected more than once. It goes over by a few cars or a few people. Then once that car leaves the manufacturer, I used to work at a dealership. When I worked at the Dodge dealership, my job was when the new cars came in, I had to do an inspection on that new car. I had to make sure everything was working. I had to make sure everything was doing what it's supposed to. I had to make sure everything was up to par. These are brand spanking new cars. Every car, when it came into the dealership that I was working at, I was doing the new car inventory. Every single one of them, we went over the whole thing. So trucks to come in off the truck, we brought them right in, and we prepped them to be sold. And we inspected them again. We looked over the whole thing. We checked everything, made sure everything was, we inspected the whole thing. So looking for any problems, looking for any issues. Dealerships do not look at RVs. They don't give a crap. They bring them in, they put them in the lot, and then they sell them. They have no idea. So, and they'll say they inspect them. I saw not a brand new, it was a $500,000 RV come into a dealership over here in Tampa. They called me to inspect it, and they told this guy that, well, we already inspected it. Well, we do our own inspection. We already inspected it. So I pulled up. When I pulled up, I wasn't out on my truck yet when I looked at the unit, and I said, oh, this thing's not going anywhere anytime soon. Windshield's busted. It's got some major hail damage. So I got out of the truck and said, hey, the guy was wanting to take delivery of it. They told me he could get it that day. And I told him, I said, this thing's not going anywhere. I said, it's got 2 life safety issues already that I can see. And told him, I said, it's got a busted windshield and the windshield wipers aren't working. Those are life safety issues that it can't leave the lot. And I said, next thing is, I said, how much damage is done to the roof? And they're all standing there, the salesman, the sales manager, the guy that's buying it, and their mechanic, they're all sitting there looking at me like, what? I'm like, how much damage is done to the roof? Have you pulled out the slide out yet? This was a used vehicle. Somebody traded this in. It came out of Texas and it came here to Florida. And the dealership said they inspected this when they got it in, because they inspected it because they traded it in on another unit. When they took it in, their inspector, I told him, I said, well, I guess your inspector needs to be fired because he didn't do his job. Because I never even got on the roof and I already knew there was damage to the roof. The windshield's busted. I clearly see that there's hail damage. The topper I see it's frayed and it's not even out yet. So we pulled out the slide outs. All their toppers were destroyed. The inspector never looked at the toppers. There was $40,000 damage to the roof of this RV. That is what the dealership, their inspection missed $40,000 damage. How do you miss $40,000 damage? How do you not get on a roof of an RV and look at it? If you're bringing something in for a trade-in, they just saw dollar signs. Ooh, look at this. It's a big $500,000 unit. Ooh, dollar. Ooh, we're going to make a bunch of money off of this. Ooh, let's screw these people. They probably gave them $150,000 for it, and then they resold it for $460,000 actually. Actually, I'm lying. $470,000 is what the guy was buying it for. And they had to replace everything on the roof. Everything on the roof was destroyed, not to mention there was body damage from the hail. Softball-sized hail destroyed the roof of this thing. It had 6 solar panels that had to be replaced, the antenna, everything on the roof was destroyed. So the people did put a new skylight in because you could see that from the bathroom. Smart move on these people. They just went up there and it wasn't even done right. They just took off the old one, threw this one on and glued it down, and it was a nightmare. So, but that's exactly what's happening out there in the RV industry. The dealerships are all lying to everybody. They do not give a crap. We bought ours from General RV in Tampa, Dover, whatever. And the salesman was a nice guy. He was a great guy. I won't complain about the sales part of it. Service sucks. Their service department, the guy I had to deal with, if he would have went in the back and shot himself, I would have understood. So the guy didn't need to be there. He's complaining about a job. He doesn't want to work. That's a problem. And then he's sitting there complaining to me. We have over 1,000 units sitting here waiting to get service. 1,000 units, he tells me. So now I'm like, this guy's lying. 1,000 units. So I went and talked to the manager. Hey, by the way, how many units you guys have on hand waiting to get service, to come into the service department? Well, we got over 1,000. 1,000. They had 1,000 RVs waiting. They had a 6-month waiting list to get RVs in. And they're telling me it was going to be another 6 months before I could get my RV in. It was going to be almost a year from the time I bought it to the time I was going to get into service. Well, I didn't wait no year. We got it in. It took 6 months to get it in, but they got it in, only to have it all denied by they weren't going to do anything anyways because Forest River refused to do it. So they had to rig everything together. So I was aggravated. I went straight to a friend of mine that's an attorney and said, hey, this is what's going on. And he said, well, he goes, we can sue him. And I said, yeah, let's do that. But, however, I'm going to up it. I said, I need to do some research. I got some things I need to do. I need to look into this more. I said, and I'm going to go after them all. And he said, okay, cool. So that's what we're doing. So I tried to reach out to Forest River. They don't, I never got anything back, no response. But however, the several other people, there's I can't remember her name. There's a woman on YouTube. She does lots of YouTube channels about issues. They gave her, at least they did get to her and say, hey, we need a cease and desist letter. They sent her a cease and desist letter and said to remove your video immediately because she's talking the truth, just like this is the truth. This is just the truth. And the truth needs to be told. And these RV manufacturers, they have to be, there's no reason for these things to leave the dealerships the manufacturers, as well as the dealership the way they are. Nobody's doing their job. My question is, how many people have died because of the faulty building of these RVs coming from the manufacturer? How many people have died because the manufacturer doesn't give a crap and does not build these things? They just throw them out as fast as they can make them. They throw them out, and the people that are working on them shouldn't even be working on them because they're not even certified to do anything. So I'm just gonna say I know a police officer in Elkhart, Indiana, and he was telling me that he makes a lot of arrests at the manufacturing companies or RV manufacturing companies because of all the day labor that they have in there. Crackheads that are in there working for the day to get drug money. These are the people building our RVs. And I'm sorry, but if you can't pay people to come in there and do the job right, it says you're hiring, but I don't know what you're hiring for. You're not hiring skilled labor because these people clearly do not know how to build an RV. And it's clear that the dealerships are not giving a crap either, as long as they can sell them. That's all they care about. They don't care about they don't care if you leave and die that day in your RV, as long as they got the money in their pocket. That's all they care about is the money. It's all about money, 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 money. So maybe I'm thinking maybe I should go after the RV manufacturer for a couple $2 billion. Make it hurt. After all the people they've hurt, there's nothing but hundreds of thousands of complaints about RVs out there. Hundreds of thousands of complaints. Most everybody that buys an RV is an unhappy person because they buy an RV and then the nightmare begins because these things are nightmares. I remember on the side of the road, we stopped at a rest area not too long ago, just on our last trip here. That was a nightmare because the RV ran into a guy, wheel missing. His axle was actually busted. And I said, I guess you got the same issue. And he said, well, my whole axle broke. He said, this is the second one. He said, the front one broke, now the back one broke. He said, the first one broke, and he goes, I never had anything in it. He said, they were trying to tell me that it was too heavy. Well, technically, from what I understand too, I'm going to throw this out there real quick. When I was getting parts for my rear axle on my RV, the trailer place I went to that sells trailer parts, they sell axles and brakes and everything. I told him what axle I had, and he said, what? That should have a 5,000 pound axle on it. He goes, it's only a 4,400 pound axle. He said, he goes, you're overweight carrying that thing. It's already overweight, empty. I said, well, the manufacturer and the dealership says it's okay to have a lighter axle because you have to consider the tongue weight. And he said, no. He said, you don't factor in tongue weight. He said, if it's a 10,000 pound trailer, it should have 10,000 pound axles. So two 5,000 pound axles at minimum is where it should be. So curiosity killed the cat. I spoke to him. While I was there, I actually asked another guy that while he was in the back, I said, hey, by the way, can you, I got to ask you a question. So I asked another guy out there. Then I went to another trailer place. And when I went there, I asked the same question. This is my trailer. What axle should I have? He said the same thing. It's a gross vehicle weights 10,000 pounds. You should have 5,000 pound axles. Okay. So now the trailer places are telling me that I'm only going by what they said. The trailer places are telling me my RV is only rated for 8,800 pounds and it's an 8,000 pound unit. So once you put water on board and everything, then you've exceeded the weight limit is what they're telling me. That's what the trailer place, not the manufacturer, not the dealership, but just the trailer place that sells trailer parts. So I went to another trailer place because I'm curious. Same thing. They told me the same thing. So I called a couple more. Every trailer place I talked to, I talked to between 6 and 8 people about this. And all of them told me that my travel trailer has the wrong axles on it. I have the wrong axles, they told me, and I have so I probably don't, my tires are not rated as well for that poundage, the weight as well. So axles and tires are not for the poundage. And the springs. He said, you probably got the wrong springs as well. So because he said it should have, this should be rated, your axles and everything should be rated for 10,000 pounds. Regardless, don't consider the tongue weight, but the manufacturer and the dealership says, no, you have to factor in tongue weight. So you just the tongue weight makes the difference, but the trailer place says different. So who do I believe? Who do I believe? I'm going to believe the trailer guys. So I honestly believe, and when I called Forest River to ask them about the rear axles of this unit, to ask them about it and talk to somebody, the problem is when I've talked to Forest River, the person I talked to, I don't think had any, not that it mattered if it was who it was, but I talked to a girl, and I don't even know if she actually knew what the heck a freaking travel trailer was, because she was clueless about it. She couldn't answer any questions. I'm like, are you not part of the service? Well, we don't manufacture, we don't do the frames. We get the frames from an outside company. Then we build on top of them. How could you not? You're the manufacturer and you can't tell me anything whatsoever about this frame. Nothing. Not a single thing. No, sir. You'll have to call the manufacturer, the guy the people who built the frame. Well, who built the frame? I don't know. So are they trying to cover something up because they have trailer frames that are cracking? I have 2 5 to 6 inch cracks in my frame on a 2023 travel trailer. Not to mention the fact that they're not balancing the wheels on these travel trailers or any trailer in this world, period. Or they're not in the U.S., they're not. Where's the National Highway Safety Administration? Where are you? Why are you not? If you're the National Highway Safety, is your purpose not safety? That's in your name. Why are you should be calling these people out. So why aren't you doing your job, National Highway Safety Administration? Because you're not. There's these travel trailers, fifth wheels, all these trailers should not be on the road without those wheels being balanced, because it's causing major issues. I said this in another video. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. You can't. It's a fact that an unbalanced wheel will destroy the suspension bearings on a vehicle. Being on a trailer is no difference. I'm going to throw this out there. Years ago, there was a Dodge van. Dodge van came in for tires, simple tires. Went in for tires. The guy didn't balance the wheels correctly. The customer left, and the wheels weren't balanced correctly. He called and said, I'm unable to get this thing back there because I'm on my way out. He was working. It was a cargo van, Dodge cargo van. I will never forget this. My wheels are shaking like crazy. He said, I think they're out of balance. So they said, well, bring it back. We'll rebalance the tires. He said, well, I'm working. He drove the van. The van ended up being towed back into the shop. When the van got back into the shop, they pulled the tires off the van. They were way out of balance, way out of balance. But that wasn't the major issue with this thing. It was towed in because the drive shaft fell out of this thing. The wheels were unbalanced and shook this van literally apart. The shop ended up replacing all 4 tires. They end up replacing the rear end, the drive shaft, and the transmission. Those wheels were balanced and bouncing all over the place so bad it destroyed the transmission, the drive shaft, and the rear end in this thing. I was there firsthand to see this, and I know the guy that owns the van, and I know the shop. So I work for both shop and this guy, with this guy. So that is the damage. And over the years of being an ASE certified mechanic, I worked at the Chevy dealership, I worked at Dodge dealerships, I worked at several garages. I had my own business. I can tell you for a fact that if your wheels are not balanced correctly, not only will you get crappy gas mileage, you will destroy bearings, you will destroy your rear end, that thing will shake so bad. I've seen so many cars that would not even stay on the road, could not go over 30 miles an hour because the wheels were so unbalanced. They were nightmares, absolute nightmares. So, and the manufacturer doesn't give a crap. They don't care if people are dying. They could give a crap if anybody's getting hurt. It's your fault because you don't know how to handle it. It's not the fact that your wheels are bouncing all over the place and shaking and you can't handle the thing on the road. Man, do you know how many accidents I see alone involving a trailer? And people will buy them brand new. I bought a cargo trailer. I drove it home. I can tell you, it was horrible. Get the wheels balanced. I have a utility trailer. That thing was a nightmare. Pulling it down the street, especially when it was empty, it was bouncing. I mean, this thing was bounced. The wheels on the one side, it was a single axle. It would bounce off the ground that far. It was crazy. I pulled the wheels off, took the wheels up and got them balanced, put them back on the trailer. It was as smooth could be after I got the wheels balanced. Major difference. I have proven, and it's a proven fact, that a balanced wheel makes all the difference in the world. So don't tell me that having an unbalanced wheel on a travel trailer, a wheel doesn't need to be balanced. On a cargo trailer or any trailer, don't tell me that it doesn't have to be balanced, because it does. It's causing deaths. It's causing major accidents. It's causing people to get hurt. Wheels are coming off of trailers and they're going through people's windshields. They're destroying. Go on YouTube right now. There's 1,000 videos of wheels coming off trailers and hitting cars. Go on YouTube right now. You'll see probably thousands of videos of trailers swaying all over the road and people flipping and having all kinds of problems. I just watched a video the other day of a trailer, somebody pulling the trailer down the street. It's bouncing up off the ground, going up. You're going to tell me that that's not a life safety issue? Because it is. And for you to sit there and say it's not is ridiculous, because you don't care. As long as you're getting that money in your pocket, you don't care what happens to these stupid RVs. You don't care how they're made, because, well, people are buying them. They shouldn't. They should not. You shouldn't be allowed to sell these RVs. The RVIA should be ashamed of themselves for not inspecting, for not doing a better job, for not being out there, for not making them safety. You guys are sitting back there, RVIA, just sitting back in their house, relaxing. I guess you're killing it because you did a couple of inspections this year. You're good to go. Looks good from your house, huh? When you're not doing your job. What is the purpose? There's no purpose for the RVIA. There is no purpose whatsoever, because they are not inspecting these RVs. These RVs are not safe. These RVs are not safe at all. Every single one of them that almost every one of them come out of the manufacturer is a life safety issue. They're causing fires because of the electrical issues. That's just for the two problems, the electrical issues and the unbalanced wheels. Those are just two of the issues that are causing a ton of problems. So I'm out here talking about it today. I'm going to repeat it myself a million times, but I don't care. Something's got to be done, and I'm doing something about it. I'm tired of being the little peon that nobody gives a crap about. Warren Buffett. You own Forest River, most of it, I guess. I guess it's all about the money. You don't care about anybody's life. You don't care. Looks good from your house. Well, I guess your excuse is you don't know. You just own it. You just sit back at your house and you don't give a crap if people are dying. As long as you're making your money, that's all you care about. So, well, I donated some money to... Yeah, there you go. Donate money. Yeah. Donate money where nobody's going to get it. Nobody's going to get it. Because you donate it to some idiot that's going to pocket it. So, it's ridiculous. It's $1 trillion company. So maybe we should sue them for $500 billion. Take half their fortune. How about that? So, $500 billion is not going to bring back people's lives. $500 billion isn't going to bring back the fact that all the headaches, hundreds of thousands of headaches that you've given people. $500 billion is not going to fix all the issues wrong with these RVs. All the wheels that are falling off, all the axles that are breaking, all the people are having accidents, all the fires that are happening, all the issues people are having every time they go out. They cannot. We buy RVs. We used to be, you buy RVs to be able to go out and enjoy a vacation. You do not enjoy a vacation with an RV. You spend your time working on the stupid RV because nothing's made right. Nothing's put together right. It looks like a bunch of school kids, kindergarten class, put the things together. I can tell you, half of the screws and bolts on my RV were stripped out because whoever they have building them is just killing the bolts going in there, killing them. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You need to be held accountable. The RV manufacturers have to be held accountable for what they're doing. The RVIA is not doing their job. The National Highway Safety Administration is not doing their job. RV manufacturers are not doing their job. I can come after you for $500 billion. You think that's going to no. What are you going to do? You'll just double or triple the price of everything, and you'll get cheaper labor. You'll make it worse. You won't try to fix it or make it better. The RVIA, they don't give a crap. The National Highway Safety Administration, they don't give a crap, because if they did, they would have done something about this years ago. Years ago. Nobody cares. These people that are in these places, they don't give a crap, because they probably don't even know what the heck they're doing. Because if they did, they'd change it. They would do something different. So, something will be done, and it's being done now as I speak. So, just like I said before, I'm going to do something about it. I'm out to make a difference. I'm going to change the RV manufacturing as we know it. What do I plan on doing? I'm taking it to the top. I'm taking it to the top. And I guess we'll have to fight, because you're not going to do anything to try to make it different. So be it. I'm all good. It's all good. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I sure did. So I'll be talking more about this subject as well. Be back on it. I got some YouTube channels out there talking about it as well. But yeah, please check out my website, raisreality.com. I really appreciate it. You can donate on my website as well, if you'd like to donate. And like I said, it helps me and it helps other people as well, to be able to do what I do. We do a lot of other things actually as well. Or you can go right here and click on that QR code and go right there. It takes you straight into be able to help out as well. So I really appreciate you checking me out, looking at this, watching it, and I will be making more videos as soon as I can. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you later. Have a great night, and thank you so much.